A person's morning routine can set the tone for the entire day. The first moments of consciousness are a crucial opportunity to either take control of your mindset or let external influences dictate your mood and focus. This is a quiet, internal decision that shapes your reality. Do you actively create your day, or do you passively consume what the world throws at you? Many people, without even realizing it, choose the latter. The first thing they do is reach for their phone. This action immediately floods their mind with other people's priorities, negative news, social comparisons, and a stream of demands. They essentially hand over control of their mental state to an outside source before they've even claimed it for themselves, allowing the world to determine their inner peace. However, there is an alternative approach, one with a long and rich history. For over 2,000 years, influential figures like philosophers, military generals, emperors, and artists have engaged in a morning ritual of creation, not consumption. They understood that the initial thoughts of the day are like the first brushstrokes on a blank canvas, they set the foundation for everything that follows. This ancient practice is supported by modern neuroscience. The relaxed, highly receptive alpha and theta brainwave states you're in right after waking up are ideal for neuroplasticity. During this time, your brain's neural pathways are most open to change. The messages you choose to focus on aren't just feel-good thoughts, they are actively shaping your brain, establishing automatic responses, building your resilience, and sharpening your focus for the next 16 hours. The Stoics, practical philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome, were masters of this. They didn't rely on wishful thinking or empty affirmations. Instead, they embraced empowering, reality-based truths. For example, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in the world, would start his day by writing a stark reminder of the challenges ahead. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He did this not to become cynical, but to build strength. He used this clear-eyed preparation to program his mind for resilience, preparing it for the day's challenges. Imagine if you could cultivate a similar state of mind, a calm, unwavering confidence that allows you to face any criticism, setback, or uncertainty. The ancient Greeks had a word for this, ataraxia, a state of profound inner peace, free from worry and distress. This isn't an innate quality, it's a skill you build, one morning at a time. The following are 10 declarations, not just simple phrases to repeat, but philosophical principles and mental exercises designed to address common weaknesses like fear, distraction, emotional reactivity, comparison, and procrastination. They are a manual for building an unshakable mindset. 1. I am the author of my emotional state. The principle, radical responsibility. True power begins the moment you accept complete responsibility for how you feel. This isn't about blaming yourself when bad things happen, it's about claiming the right to choose your response to anything that occurs. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, discovered this profound truth in a Nazi concentration camp. Stripped of every external freedom, he realized one freedom remained: everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. If this power can be found in such an extreme environment, it can certainly be found in your daily life. Most people live as emotional hostages, allowing their mood to be dictated by things like traffic, the weather, their boss's tone, or a stranger's comment. This is a form of emotional slavery. When you declare, I am responsible for how today feels, you are issuing your declaration of independence. You are stating that your inner peace is not for sale and is not subject to the whims of external events. The practice: every morning, place a hand on your heart and say this with conviction. Understand that feelings like frustration are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Your power isn't in stopping the storm, but in choosing how you dance in the rain. 2. Nothing enters my inner peace without my consent. The principle: protected sovereignty. Your mind is a sacred fortress, and you are its sole guardian. Every day, you decide what gets permission to enter and disturb your tranquility. Many people leave their gates wide open, allowing every worry, criticism, or negative news headline to march right in and occupy space. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This declaration is you realizing that power isn't about controlling the world around you, it's about mastering the world within you. Saying, "Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission," sets a non-negotiable boundary for your mental well-being. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means developing the discipline to process an event without letting it hijack your entire system. Someone can be rude, and you can acknowledge their rudeness without letting it become the soundtrack to your day. The practice: visualize your mind as a fortress. See yourself at the gate. When a stressful thought or external event approaches, you have the power to look at it and say, "You do not have permission to enter. I see you, but you will not define me." This moment of choice is where your unshakable nature is forged. 3. My focus resides only in my circle of control. The principle: focused intentionality. The fastest path to anxiety and helplessness is trying to control the uncontrollable. People waste enormous amounts of mental energy worrying about other people's opinions, the past, the future, or politics, things they have zero influence over. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, born a slave, laid out the fundamental dichotomy of control. What you can control: your actions, opinions, efforts, responses, and values. What you cannot control: everything else. Most people have this backward. They neglect their own garden to worry about the weather. When you declare, "Today I focus only on what I can control," you are making a strategic decision to invest your precious energy where it can actually generate a return. You shift from anxiety to action, from helplessness to agency. The practice: mentally draw 3 circles, a small inner circle, control, a middle circle, influence, and a large outer circle, no control. Direct 90% of your focus to the inner circle. This is where your power lies. 4. My worth is inherent, not conditional. The principle: unshakable self-worth. Society conditions us to measure our value by our performance, making our self-worth a volatile roller coaster. It soars with success and plummets with failure. We tie our identity to outcomes, thinking, "I am a failure," rather than, "I failed at this task." The Stoic philosopher Seneca, who faced both exile and forced suicide, understood that external circumstances are fleeting. He wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Your core value transcends any single outcome. Declaring, "My worth is not measured by today's outcomes," helps you break free from this performance trap. You separate your effort from your identity. You can strive for excellence with every fiber of your being without staking your sense of self on the result. The practice: every morning, affirm that you are valuable simply because you exist. You are a work in progress, and a single day's results are just data, they are not a final report card. You can be disappointed by an outcome without being devastated by it. 5. My actions, not my intentions, will define my day. The principle: the primacy of action. The gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it is where most dreams die. We are brilliant planners but poor executors. We often confuse intention with action. Marcus Aurelius jolted himself awake with this thought: "In the morning, when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present, I am rising to the work of a human being." He knew that virtue is not a concept, it is an action. Declaring, "I will act, not just intend," is a vow to become a person of execution. It is choosing messy progress over perfect planning. It is understanding that motivation follows action, not the other way around. The practice: shift your language from, "I should," or "I want to," "I will." Create clear implementation intentions: when situation X arises, I will do Y. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Act because you committed to it. Action is the antidote to anxiety. 6. Every obstacle is fuel for my growth. The principle: alchemical adversity. The common view sees obstacles as misfortunes to be avoided. The Stoic view sees them as necessary training grounds. A muscle doesn't get stronger without resistance, and character doesn't deepen without a challenge. Marcus Aurelius stated it perfectly: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Admiral James Stockdale, a prisoner of war in Vietnam for 7 years, credited Stoicism for his survival. He explained that you must retain faith that you will prevail in the end, while simultaneously confronting the most brutal facts of your current reality. When you declare, "Every challenge is a chance to grow stronger," you reframe your entire relationship with difficulty. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this preparing me for? What can this teach me?" The practice: when faced with a setback, pause. Instead of reacting with frustration, get curious. Ask yourself, how can this make me more resilient? What skill is this forcing me to develop? How is this revealing a weakness I can now address? Welcome the grind. It is forging you. 7. My journey is mine alone, I renounce comparison. The principle: authentic alignment. Comparison is a modern-day epidemic, heavily amplified by social media. We compare our raw, unedited lives with everyone else's polished highlight reels. This not only steals joy but also drains your energy and focus. Epictetus warned, how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself. Your path is unique. Your starting point, resources, challenges, and definition of success are your own. Trying to run someone else's race guarantees frustration and failure. Declaring, "I will not compare my journey to anyone else's," is a vow of fidelity to your own path. It's choosing to be inspired by others instead of intimidated by them. Your only valid comparison is to the person you were yesterday. The practice: curate your input. Unfollow accounts that trigger your comparison reflex. Genuinely celebrate others' successes, it proves what's possible. Spend time defining what success actually means to you, not to your family, your peers, or society. 8. Discipline is my engine, motivation is a fickle passenger. The principle: unwavering consistency. If you only act when you feel motivated, your life will be a series of staggering inconsistencies. Motivation is an emotion, it comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is a value, it is a non-negotiable commitment to your own word. The Stoics revered discipline. Cato the Younger, for example, would walk barefoot through Rome in winter to harden his resolve. They knew that comfort is the enemy of growth and that discipline is the bridge between a goal and its achievement. Declaring, "I choose discipline over motivation," is you firing the unreliable manager of your life, your feelings, and hiring a steadfast CEO, your commitment. You are deciding to show up for your goals whether you feel like it or not. The practice: make your commitments small and non-negotiable. Don't commit to working out, commit to putting on my shoes and walking out the door. The action will often follow. Discipline is a muscle, start with light weights and build. Your feelings will catch up later. 9. I will see this day through a lens of gratitude. The principle: abundant perspective. Your experience of life is shaped by what you focus on. You can concentrate on what's missing, scarcity, or what's present, abundance. Gratitude isn't a denial of life's problems, it's a conscious choice to acknowledge the good that exists alongside them. Seneca practiced negative visualization, consciously imagining the loss of what he had to appreciate it more deeply. He understood that taking things for granted is a sure path to dissatisfaction. Neuroscience confirms that gratitude practice physically rewires the brain, strengthening neural pathways for positivity and resilience. Declaring, "Gratitude will shape how I see today," is you choosing your perceptual lens. You are training your brain to scan for evidence of good. The functioning of your body, the roof over your head, the simple beauty of a morning. The practice: keep a gratitude journal. Before you get out of bed, name 3 specific things you are grateful for. They can be profound, your health, or simple, the taste of coffee. This sets your brain to a frequency of abundance for the entire day. 10. I will close this day a better human than I opened it. The principle: continuous improvement. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The compound effect of getting just 1% better every day is transformative. A 1% daily improvement leads to being 37 times better in a year. Seneca ended his day with a rigorous review, asking himself, what bad habit did I curb today? How was I better? Where did I let myself down? What can I improve tomorrow? This wasn't self-punishment, it was a system check. It was about closing the feedback loop and ensuring that even a failure yielded a lesson. Declaring, I will end this day better than I started, turns every day into a classroom. It makes you an active participant in your own growth. It means that even on the hardest days, you can find one lesson, 1 ounce of added strength, or 1 moment of practiced patience. The practice: perform a nightly review. Take 2 minutes before sleep to ask, what was one win today? What was one challenge? What is one lesson I can take from today into tomorrow? This seals the day with purpose and prepares your subconscious for a better tomorrow. The compound effect of dawn. These 10 declarations are not a quick fix. They are a discipline, daily calisthenics for the mind. You won't be perfect at them. Some days, you will feel like a fraud while saying them. Say them anyway. Start with just one. Let it be the anchor of your morning for a week, and then add another. These are the threads you will use to weave the tapestry of an unshakable life, a life of purpose, resilience, and profound inner peace. You have been given a manual that has guided emperors and slaves, admirals and artists. The philosophy is battle-tested. It works. The only question that remains is, will you have the discipline to use it? Your morning awaits.